hitting start stream, so hold on. Did you make that?
Nope. It went into the almost.
Alrighty, we are live on YouTube for Ask Junior.
Oh.
What?
I didn't know there was a can over there.
Yeah, there's a new wastebasket over there.
It's shaped like a basket.
Oh, this is a game now,
like
isn't
a
it?
basketball
basket.
I
Shaped
know,
like a basket.
that did sound right.
Hey, everybody, it's Dale Jr., and thank you guys for tuning in to the Ask Junior portion of the show. Thank you, Xfinity, for everything you do for the Dale Jr. download and Dirty Mo Media. I am a customer. I love my Xfinity X5, and still no outages. I don't know what, I'm on day 600 and something, and haven't had any issues, hadn't had to call for service. I did have somebody rip my line when they parked on the public parking area of my front yard. I got public parking just beyond my fence line, and somebody hit the dang telephone pole and ripped the line, and I called Xfinity, and the service guy was out there and fixed it the same day.
There you go.
I was pretty happy about that. I went out there and watched him do it and annoyed him the whole time.
Probably did.
I was definitely one of those guys.
Yes, you
are. That's when you're becoming your parents, right? When you're like annoying the serviceman or somebody, you call somebody to come to your house and you're like, "Hey man, tell me how you're fixing this."
That's right, because I don't want to have to call you the next time it happens. I want to do it myself.
Yeah, you don't want them to know that, but you're like, "What are you doing now?" Anyhow. What were we doing? Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's been this kind of day, though, by the way.
It's been a day.
Yeah.
So, we had Ty Gibbs in here as our guest, and I want everybody to go into this with an open mind, and I know a lot of people have different opinions about Ty. Some like him. Some might not know him very well. I don't know him well. He's going to be around the sport for a long time. Why don't we give him, a bit of time and listen to what he has to say? Talking to him, I will say this. Learning how he cut his teeth and the things that he did to get to where he is today to become better as a race car driver, I admire it, man. I mean, the guy took every opportunity that was given to him, and he had a lot of doors opened up to him, but he worked with those opportunities. He didn't just, walk in and jump in the car and go. He's put in the work, and it was, it makes a lot of sense now. When he goes out in that Xfinity car and he runs so well, I guess now it makes more sense to me why he does that and how he is so good, because he's certainly he's been driving a long time, and he's really drove a lot of different things and studies it. And he's boots on the ground in the shop every day, has been since he was 10 years old. And so pretty impressive. So, yeah, anyhow, I got a lot more respect for him. I think you will too when you listen to the podcast. But anyways, you sent in your questions to @Xfinity Racing on Twitter, and Hannah is back. She's going to give us the best ones, her favorites. She shit-canned all the ones she didn't like.
Thank you. This first one comes from Duke. It says, part of the fun from your old back in the day show was watching your eyes bug out at some of the wild things that used to happen in NASCAR. What's something that's commonplace today that you think we're going to look back in 20 or 30 years from now and say, oh my gosh, I cannot believe they used to do that?
Well, I was actually maybe thinking about this the other day. Remember when in the pandemic we had double headers and we would do the 20-car invert?
Mm-hmm.
So we were looking at Harvick's stats, and embedded in some of the stats that we were looking at was the fact that in the last 5 out of 6 Cup races at Michigan, the winner came out of the top 3. The only reason why it's not 6 out of 6 is because of that 20-car invert that put Harvick in the back of the field for that doubleheader, then for the second of the doubleheader. So, anyways, I was like, man, doubleheaders and inverts, like, that's crazy. And then I was reading yesterday a magazine about NASCAR back in like the 50s and the 60s, and they used to do double headers with inverts. And so, I think when we were starting to do those things in the pandemic, I think we all were like, wow, can you believe we're doing this? Well, they had done it before. That's one thing that popped in my mind. And I think there will be a time 10 years from now, 15 years from now, we'll look back on, can you believe we showed up and didn't practice and just started the race? No practice. Not a lap. I mean, there were races that, there was the races where Josh Berry and guys, that were getting their first opportunities in the trucks, in the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series, that they didn't have any laps. You just start the race. I mean, that still blows my mind today, and I think in 10 years from now, we're definitely going to be talking about that and doubleheaders and inverts. Can you believe NASCAR Cup Series inverted 20 cars? I mean, that's crazy. Even now, 2 years removed.
Even just the no practice thing, I think about some of those kids that like made their rookie debuts when we'd cover truck races, and they'd be like, well, have you ever ran a super speedway? Nope. You ever been here before? Nope, haven't. I'm like, what are you expecting? Don't know. I'll talk, maybe listening to the radio after the first 10 laps, because when we take the green, that's the first time we're going to have been on this track. I'm like, that doesn't make me feel good in my tummy. I can't imagine that makes anyone else feel good, especially the people you're around.
How about, can you believe the Xfinity Series didn't at one time use SUVs? I mean, like, didn't they actually put gas in those cars? Didn't plug them up to charge them? Wow, that's crazy.
You're going to trigger some people, Mike.
Yeah. People are going to have to be getting on the internet to look that one up, Mike.
To use cars. What?
Yikes. All right, this next one here comes from Chris the Dude Nurse. He says, does being left-handed have any advantages or disadvantages in racing?
I don't think so. I've never heard that anybody ever talk about that being an advantage or a disadvantage.
Are you left-handed?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this one comes from Austin Hager. It says, recently started getting into collecting vintage race shirts, has a pretty good collection of his own. What is your most prized vintage shirt, and how did you get it? Does it come with a cool story?
Oh, man, I've got so many. I think my favorite vintage shirt, and I can't even wear it, that my dad had a 1980, and it's this round logo, and it's got the number 2 car, and I believe it's a 442 Oldsmobile, and it says either 1979 Rookie of the Year or 1980 Champion, one of those two. And I was looking for one forever, and I finally found a couple on the internet, but they're too small. Like, so, a large in 1980 is like a medium now. Yeah. And so if you're a collector of vintage shirts, you know this very well. But because when you go on eBay or anywhere to buy a shirt, you're always like, well, what's pit to pit measurement? Because that'll tell you whether this is like, a medium or a large in today's standards, because the standards are different from 40 or 50 years ago. And so, yeah, people, I guess, we were all smaller.
They were skinnier back then.
Yeah. Traditionally, as a race, human race,
right.
We were all, we've all gotten
fat.
So, anyhow, I can't wear the shirt. So I had to have, this pisses me off.
Because it's too small.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, way too small. It's a large, but I can't, it's tight. Not happening.
Medium.
Yes. And so, and I can't find an XL or a double XL, which that might actually, and it even like the sleeve length and the collar is weird. It just doesn't work. So I asked a person that is in the middle of the industry that knows how to make a shirt to remake this shirt, right? And the product that he gave me back was unacceptable. So the shirt, the original, has so when it's so this is kind of like an iron-on, right? The shirt that I'm wearing right now. This design and graphic is a heavy, almost like a rubbery.
It was a heat press,
yes.
Design.
That's what I got back. The shirt from 1980, the original, it's
screen
ink.
printed, yeah.
Yes, and so that's what I wanted. And this guy I'm telling you, man, I was like, what? He gave me that shirt back, and I'm like, no, this is crap. this is like a big old, this is like a big old hard thing on your, I won't just.
When you take it off, it still kind of stands up by itself because there's so much.
Yeah. I was like, nah, I can't even wear the new one. And I was so disappointed. I'm not going to give up, though. He just told me that it would just cost too much money to remake it because I can't legally make it. I can't legally make it and sell it, right? I'm not selling it. But anyway, so making a small batch, it's not financially smart because it would cost too much money to make it the other way. Does this all make sense?
It makes
I'm
sense.
following, yeah.
It makes sense. I just can't believe it would cost that much money not to do a small batch, though.
Well, you have to make like the multiple layers of the screen print. And
no, I'm not saying it would be cheap. I'm just saying.
I know, but I just
basically, how much do you want to pay for this
get
shirt?
it right? To get it right,
I just assumed that it's me asking for this, and if I can't get it, then it can't get done.
That's a fair point. I don't disagree with you on that. If you can't get it done, ain't nobody else.
I didn't push it any further. I was like, you got it, okay. But damn it, I'm crying for help here. Somebody out there. I'll give you the shirt. You can make it.
He's kidding.
I've got a couple of them. And we'll just keep it between us. And we'll make this shirt illegally. And I'll keep a few. And, yeah. I need this shirt made because I want to wear it. And I can't. And I'm not wearing this big cardboard thing on my chest or whatever.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
No, you want it to be loose.
That's what I don't like about old vintage shirts too. Is they
They're
always
hard.
have the really high neckline too,
Yeah.
and it's like a small neckline.
Yeah.
And even on the women cut shirts, they have that thick collar that comes up here,
Yeah.
and you're just like it's tight, and I'm like, I just feel like those old shirts choke you out.
I agree. Yeah.
All right, next one is from Mike's Modern Makes. Maybe he can make you this shirt. After your conversation with Mike Joy, did you take anything he said to you on the podcast and try to implement in calling the race on Sunday?
I didn't stand there in the booth and have things top of mind, but I certainly listened to Mike and try to absorb some things and think about things a little bit differently going forward, but nothing specific. I will say, man, I did not feel great about North Wilkesboro as far as the play-by-play job I did. And
About North Wilkesboro.
I'm sorry, New Hampshire.
There we go.
And so, thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.
I didn't feel good about New Hampshire. So, there was a lot of reasons why. But anyways, we got done with the day, and I was like, I didn't like it. But I felt I was real happy, regardless of what anyone else everyone could be so critical over what I did Sunday, but I feel good about it. And yeah, I went in there with a bit looser of an attitude, and I feel like it was kind of like, hey man, this is my last play-by-play of the year, and I was going to just do it the way I wanted to do it.
Hey, on that note, NASCAR and NBC's social media put out a nice little clip of you guys calling that wreck, and I loved that. Did you see it, Hannah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It
of all
was
of you guys
cool.
sitting there looking out over it.
Yeah.
I like that.
People wanted to see the when we called Christopher Bell and Ross
That's it.
Chastain's, they were disappointed that one wasn't included in the reel, and there was a couple other moments in there, but I had a fun time. So my problem is when you go in the broadcast booth and you're getting ready to do a promo, or you're going to read any kind of a card or a billboard, which is basically like, hey man, the NASCAR mobile app, free scoring, free timing, whatever. When you're reading those cards, it's on a card and you're just reading it. It's hard not to read it and get into a radio voice, right? Everybody in here possesses a radio voice. Some of you may have never ever used it, but it's in there. And I can put you in that position, and that radio voice is going to start. And you can't not do it, right? It's like it starts happening. And so I went into this race going, my boss keeps telling me, man, we just want you to be like you're on the podcast. And so, you know what? I'm just going to do this race just like I am in that room, just like I am now. And
dropping F-bombs all over the place.
No. I was just going to read more casually. So I read the promos and everything and did everything a lot more casually. I still had some awkward cringe moments trying to go to commercial and whatever. That's always kind of weird because you're sitting there watching the race, in the middle of the conversation with your guys, and then the producer goes, all right, we're going to commercial, 10, 9. And you're like, okay, now I got to figure out what to say, right? I got to come up with something. It's easier when it's just natural, and that's the one moment where you're not given an option to be natural.
It's so clunky, and it's like all of a sudden the pressure comes in.
Yep.
They have us bring it back from commercial on pit road. Sometimes they're like, and it's an audible. They'll be like, all right, bring us back from commercial now. 3, 2. And you're like, we're back here. Like, you have to think about where you are, what's going on, and then like continue coming back from commercial break.
You're really good at that though, Hannah. I mean, I've always been impressed, but I wanted to ask you a question. I forgot about this, and that is, I noticed something during your call of a wreck, and I wanted to know if it was a coincidence or if it was deliberate, intentional. Because I think Steve was in the middle of saying something, and then you said, "We have a crash." And I remember you said that even with Mike Joy in that conversation about like that's kind of an old school way of, like an old MRN way of calling a wreck. Yeah. And you said that almost verbatim. It might have been the Christopher Bell. I'm not.
It was.
Was it that one?
Yeah.
We have a crash on the front. Was that?
Yeah.
Was that you like playing out exactly how you wanted to call a crash?
All of my life when I was watching, all of my life when I was at home in the 80s, listening to the races on the radio, you're listening to the race happen. Such in the lead, such as a couple car lengths back. This guy's in second and third and fourth. And anytime there was an accident or a car with a blown motor or anything unique, different happening around the racetrack, the corner guys of MRN, whoever's in each corner, they came on the air loud, and it was action. This is happening in this corner.
Yeah.
Right? And that was just how the job was done. And so we got into a place in the 2000s and in the last decade where there would be a battle for the lead, and the same monotone conversation would just continue. When there's a battle for the lead, there was no change in tempo, no change in energy, no change in excitement when there was a race for the lead, or a guy brushed the wall, or somebody lost control, or there was no real change in energy. And I just always admired the way the radio MRN guys did it. And so when that happened on Sunday with Christopher Bell, man, that was my natural reaction.
Yeah, it was so good. It was
good. I didn't have to I didn't force that, or I didn't have to pretend that, or like that's just how I've heard it all my life. And so when I see a crash, if I'm standing in the grandstands, right, watching a race with my buddies, if you're the first one to see the crash, what do you do?
Yeah,
you smack the hell out of the guy beside you.
Yeah. Point. That's right. You point.
That's your reaction in the booth, right? But it's verbal. And so the crazy thing about that, I will say, like, in that moment, Christopher Bell, Ross, the 99, and then on the next pit, that's the following pit stop under that yellow, Denny Hamlin, the 4 guys that we were sitting there watching race for the lead were all eliminated from winning that race.
Yeah.
Right in that very moment, that little contact with Christopher Bell on the front straightaway and Ross changed the entire race. And so you knew it. As soon as you realized, oh, shit, that's Christopher Bell in the 1 car, the 99's a lap down, and those 3 guys all are going to be affected by this. And then we had the pit stop, and Denny gets,
you get a penalty or something.
Penalty.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
Well, damn.
That's
now,
it. That's them.
All 4 guys that were racing for this win are no longer racing for the win. And look at the lineup. Look at all these names now that are going to have a shot at this.
Bubba, Harvick, all those guys were now
crazy change. But I had a great time, man, and I just chilled and felt good about it.
I didn't mean to hijack you there,
yeah.
Hannah. It occurred to me about the Mike Joy conversation.
Oh, no, you're good. No, that answered it as a whole. I mean, that's pretty much all we have for Ask Junior this week. People in the chat, just so you know, if you want to reference it, there are a lot of people claiming that they can make this shirt of yours. So if you would like to, people maybe that are just tuning in now, to remind them what shirt, the year, whatever, and who knows what you might show up to next week. But
you're just giving me a lot of confidence that this is really doable and that I got bad information.
What was the shirt again?
I'm gonna figure. I'll have to send it to you.
Okay.
I mean, I'll send you a picture of it, or I'll
perfect.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We're gonna get this shirt made.
Everyone sign up for illegal activity right over here. Just form a line right over here.
Perfect. Well, that is it for this week's Ask Junior.
Well, appreciate it. Everybody's glad, I'm sure, to have Hannah back. Hannah, we're glad you're back. And appreciate everything Xfinity does for us here at the Dale Jr. Download and Dirty Mo Media. And thanks for the great questions. I feel like had a great show. Dirty Air was a trip. We had a great time during Dirty Air. You're going to want to listen to that. Also, make sure you subscribe, right?
That's right. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be putting out Roots and Revival, the first installment this week.
What is Roots and Revival?
Our North Wilkesboro series. We're going to do Dirty Mo Media, is what I mean by we. Some individuals in this room are putting this all together. We're going to have, right now it's scheduled to be like 11 total videos, all going to be exclusively on our YouTube channel. And it's going to document this, not just Dale Jr.'s return to Wilkesboro, but it's going to document this entire month and just kind of like what it means. I'm really excited about it. I think this is going to be something that Dirty Mo Media, it'll be something that we are as proud of as Lost Speedways or anything else. So it'll all be on Dirty Mo Media's YouTube channel. Check it out.
There's a couple things I want to say to everybody. How many we got watching right now?
Analytics, we've got, concurrent viewers is what I want, right? Like right now, that's concurrent?
Sure.
1,166.
All right, a couple things, everybody. Kyle Petty has a book, Swerve or Die. Go check it out. Kyle Petty was cool and let us make the Kyle Petty t-shirt. What the F does Kyle Petty have to do with this? You can get that on shopjuniornation.com. There's Sundrop merch for the late model stock car I'm going to race at the end of the month on that as well. If you want to get those things, I'm excited about that. Can't wait to get my own. And North Wilkesboro, there's racing this weekend. If you didn't get to go to the mod race last week, there's the super late models this weekend. Bubba Pollard, all the big names are going to be there. And so make sure they got walk-up tickets, $15, free parking. Literally, you can go there, buy your ticket, get you some concessions, all for $20 or around that, and have a great time and see some awesome racing at Wilkesboro. And I hope you'll check it out and continue to support it this month. Don't forget, I'm racing on the 31st of August in my late model stock car. And then in October, all the dirt racing, tons of dirt racing. They're going to plow the asphalt up, make it a dirt track. I know I got to see that with my own eyes. Just a visual of that alone is going to be insane. So we'll be out there and enjoying those things. Everybody have a great week. Appreciate all the support. And we'll see you at Richmond this weekend. Going to be a lot of fun calling the race there this weekend with all my buddies in the booth.